Hello everyone, this is Meghana R, currently studying in 8th semester CSE department at Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Bangalore. Today I'm gonna explain about Internet of Things and cloud computing involvement in Microsoft Azure platform, which is done under the guidance of Mr. Ramesh G, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE. Before getting into it, I would request each and everyone to please like the video. Firstly, let me take you through the agenda. I'll be talking about the introduction, followed by the literature survey, objectives, Azure services, proposed system, Azure data lake storage, Azure analytical services and functions, Azure IoT services, Azure artificial intelligence and machine learning, Azure in cloud computing, conclusion, and references. Now, starting with the introduction, let me brief you about the cloud computing. As you all know, cloud computing is the delivery of computing devices like servers, storage, databases, and etc. There is an increasing demand for computing services like data storage, resource allocation, computing power, networking, and much more in today's era. Therefore, it is essential to provide innovation that is efficient, flexible, and scalable to business needs. Cloud computing results from the convergence of technologies that have changed how businesses create their IT infrastructure. These computing services are delivered to organizations' devices through the internet. The main idea of cloud computing is to rely on sharing computing resources rather than depending on personal devices and local servers to handle applications. And it provides the users with a better experience of storage, backup, and disaster recovery. So the storage in cloud is easily accessible, economical, and it scales up and down based on requirements. Then it also provides backup which is faster, simple, and restores lost files easily. And cloud also protects servers and gets the system back online quickly. Cloud computing is categorized into three types, namely private, public, and hybrid clouds. Private clouds refers to computing resources that are only used within an organization or businesses. It offers hosted services to a limited number of people behind firewall, so it minimizes the security concerns. Private cloud gives companies direct control over their data. And next, public clouds. Public cloud computing is the second type of cloud computing. A third party cloud service provider manages and owns public cloud computing services. It is available to everyone, and this public cloud is a service provider which makes resources such as application and storage, which is easy and inexpensive setup because hardware application and bandwidth costs are covered by the provider. It do not waste resources because you can pay as you use the resources. And next, hybrid clouds. Hybrid cloud computing comprises both public and private cloud computing services. Cloud services are of three types called SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. As you all know, SaaS is software as a service. Basically, we are just consuming a service which is already being maintained and handled. For example, email. PaaS. PaaS means platform as a service. Here you are provided with a platform which you can actually go ahead and build your own applications. For example, Google App Engine. And next, IaaS, infrastructure as a service. The whole infrastructure is provided to you so that you can go ahead and create your own applications. That is, an underlying structure is given to you. Based on that, you can go ahead and choose your operating systems, the kind of technology you want to use on that platform. And IaaS allows renting IT infrastructure from the cloud, mainly VMs, which is virtual machines, servers, operating systems, networks, and storage. The cloud vendors could able to manage the environment's administration. It provides it provides on-demand software over the internet, usually on a subscription basis. Subscription basis in the sense you have to pay for the resources you use. Now, coming to the literature survey, here I have mentioned few journals and papers which I have referred. Firstly, IoT Central and Solution Accelerators in Azure Internet of Things, which is published in the year 2019 by Stack Viak. Under the publication address, the objective of the paper is it is designed to simplify and speed deployment of commonly implemented IoT solutions. The pros are reduces the burden and cost of developing, managing and maintaining IoT solutions. Cons are integrating ec- encryption and security protocols. And next, sensor cloud based architecture with efficient data computation and security implementation for Internet of Things application, which is published in the year 2020 by Bashar and Abul. The main objective of the paper is to collect data about their environment and send that data to the server for processing. Pros are it's more efficient and reliable. Cons are maintenance issues, storage issues, authorization issues, security, and privacy issues. And the next journal is Microsoft Azure and Cloud Computing, which is published in the year 2019 by many authors like Copeland, Yamso, Puka, Manning, and Golobdi. The main objectives are to protect your data and code while the data is in use in the cloud, to help businesses manage challenges and meet their organizational goals. Pros allows to build, deploy, and manage apps more quickly and easily without having to buy or maintain the underlying infrastructure. Cons unlike local servers, Azure requires expertise to ensure all moving parts together efficiently. And next journal is Cloud Computing Application Research Challenges and Opportunity, which is published in the year 2022 by Karmakar A. Raghuthamam and Kote OS and Jayapandian N. The main objective is to provide data security and privacy. Pros reliability and availability, password security. Cons are performance challenges, high dependence on network. Now let us see what are the objectives. Firstly, to provide services in key technology areas such as compute, storage, networking, databases, containers and developer tools. To provide reliable cloud platform for IaaS, SaaS and PaaS cloud computing models. To provide all the generic functionality for any application, so can we focused on building features that differentiates the product and add value to the customers. To provide the best management system, security or privacy and integrations to the applications. To provide cloud services which is compatible with many developer tools, databases and operating systems. Now let us talk about the Azure services. As we all know, Azure has around 200 services that are organized into different categories: networking, storage, analytics, IoT, migration, computing, mobile containers, artificial intelligence, management tools, machine learning, integration, developer tools, security, DevOps, databases, and media identification are examples of these areas. The figure or the block diagram here represents the most popular Azure cloud computing services. Here it is the overview of Azure services. We have mentioned services, functions, and its types. Firstly, compute. The function is the infrastructure needed to run applications, including the ability to containerize the apps, deploy virtual machines, and migrate VMs to Azure, is provided by Azure Compute. The types are virtual machines, Kubernetes service, API apps, and next service is networking. The function is the services that conduct networking activities within Azure and in between Azure, and on-premise infrastructure are referred to as Azure Network Services. Types are firewall, load balancing, DNS, content delivery, network, VPN gateway. And next service is databases. The function is Azure offers both relational database services as well as NoSQL databases. All of these are fully managed by Azure. The types are Azure SQL Database, Azure Service on virtual machines, and Managed Instance. And the next service is storage. Microsoft Azure's data storage solution provides both structured and unstructured data with safe and scalable cloud storage. The types are blob storage, disk storage, files, data lake storage, queue storage, and data store. And next service is containers. Containers make it simple to execute batch processes without worrying about setting up an environment or managing dependencies. The types are Azure Functions, container instances, mobile apps, web apps, and API apps. And the next service is developer tools. Azure Development Tools provides a complete collection of development tools for every developer building cloud apps on any platform or in any languages. The types are Azure DevOps, Azure Pipelines, Azure Lab Services, and Azure. Now, let me talk about the proposed system. The proposed study surveys the data lake and data factory services under Azure Analytics Service. Subsequently, an overview of Azure IoT Service, mainly IoT Hub and IoT Central, is discussed. Here, I have mentioned the flowchart of Azure services, where you can see like Microsoft Azure consists of three things. Azure Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, Azure Analytics, and Azure IoT. Many businesses are shifting to the cloud for better performance and easier management. Azure Analytics Service broadly falls under the PaaS and SaaS category. Azure Data Factory and Data Lake Storage are among the analytics service provided by the Azure. Firstly, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory is a serverless and regulated cloud facilitators meant for huge ELT, ETL, and data integration applications. It gives a better picture of all the data flows and complicated data processing activities in one place. Azure Data Factory allows us to create pipelines. The key components of Azure Data Factory are pipelines, activities, data sets, data flows, and linked service. Perform the operations like connecting and ingest builds a connection between ADF and several SaaS services, databases, storage services, and web services is set up to ingest the data. The ingested data is transformed using data flows by transform. The transformed data is developed further into a business ready form and then published. Now coming to the Azure Data Lake Storage. Azure Data Lake Storage or ADLS is a fully managed, scalable, secured and elastic file system. ADLS brings the Cosmos and Hadoop ecosystems together as an HDFS compliant solution that fully supports Cosmos and Hadoop applications. It can store all kinds of data in an organization such as structured, unstructured and partially structured data irrespective of the data type, format, or even the structure. Azure Data Lake Storage can store huge data sets using two ways. Firstly, Data Lake Blob Storage, and secondly, Hadoop File System Storage. Blob Storage is a storage solution with a flexible object storage system that offers high availability, reliable disaster recovery, and low cost tier storage. HDFS storage is compatible with the Hadoop applications which uses the Hadoop distributed file system as their primary data storage system. The block diagram which I have mentioned here represents the usage of data lake storage, which consists of ingest data, process data, and download data. And then security in data lake storage is achieved by including the authorization, authentication, data protection, and network isolation. ADLS is compatible with Azure Active Directory used for user authentication. And now coming to the Azure Analytical Services and Functions. Here I have mentioned some tools and their functions. Firstly, Azure Data Lake Analytics. The distributive analytics makes it simple to use analytics in big data along with USQL, Python, R and .NET programs. And next, Azure Databricks, an analytics tool based on Apache Spark and is designed to work with Azure's platform smoothly. And next, Azure Analysis service, a platform as a service tool which is fully managed and is used in data modeling. And next, Azure HD Insight, which saves time and effort in building Hadoop big data clusters by allowing us to easily create and scale clusters based on our specific requirements. And next, Azure Data Explorer, it is a service that can be used to handle huge volumes of data streams that are generated by various systems with the capabilities of collecting, storing, and analyzing data. Now, coming to the Azure IoT services. Firstly, what is IoT or Internet of Things? Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects or things that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data over Internet. The Internet of Things has emerged as one of the primary facilitators and accelerators of global digital transformation. It is a significant tool that can turn data into intelligence and provides instant access to data. IoT related services include data processing, visualization, and data analysis. Azure Cloud Service provides an integrated solution for cost, privacy, and overall security of the data comprehensively and efficiently. The block diagram which I have mentioned here represents the Azure IoT suite architecture, which consists of admin portal, web portal, and mobile app. Azure IoT Hub is a cloud-based communication service that allows IoT devices and solutions to communicate highly scalable, dependable, and secure. It provides a large-scale gateway that facilitates and manages all bidirectional communication between devices. The main advantage of the IoT Hub is that it automatically scales millions of devices and can be extended to use other technologies also. The Azure IoT Hub architecture is implemented by using two distinct communication modes: device to cloud communication and cloud to device communication. Now, coming to the Azure Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. Firstly, what is artificial intelligence or AI? AI is the ability for a computer to think and learn, and machine learning is the branch of artificial intelligence and computer sciences which focuses on the use of data and algorithms. Azure AI and ML are cloud platforms to solve the task that needs human intelligence and makes the machine learn data for future predictions. There are a total of 13 services under the Azure AI plus ML umbrella. Azure's AI services allow the user to understand, search, see, speak, hear, and improve decision making. These services play a major role in the world of growing businesses. Here, the figure shows the usage of Azure Machine Learning Service in batch and stream processing. Azure Cognitive Search Service is a cloud service that helps in building search services easily and efficiently. Two basic concepts in Azure Cognitive Search are indexing and querying. Indexing in Azure Cognitive Search is the step done for making the process of searching easier. In indexing, the user can get search data from any data sources. Querying is the second basic concept that can be done after the searchable text is created from the index. The user can search for data using various queries in the search service. Now, coming to the last topic, Azure in cloud computing. Identifying the appropriate cloud provider is an extremely ambiguous task. Along with Microsoft Azure, other cloud market players and stakeholders are Google's Compute Engine and Amazon Web Service. AWS is found in a variety of geological settings around the world. Google's cloud computing service provides massive computer expertise. This possibility stems from the infinite storage capacity of Google's search engine, YouTube, Gmail, and all other Google services. And now here is the comparison between the three cloud service providers: Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud Platforms. First parameter is service model. In this Microsoft Azure, the computing models are IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. but significant in SaaS. Coming to AWS, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, but significant in IaaS and PaaS. Google Cloud Platforms, the computing models are IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, but significant in PaaS. And the next parameter is availability. The Microsoft Azure is available in 54 regions and 140 countries. The AWS is available in 18 regions and 190 countries, and Google Cloud platforms are available in 18 regions and 35 countries. Coming to the security parameter, the Microsoft Azure has application firewall, data encryption, and key encryption, and then AWS and Google Cloud Platform follows the same. And the next parameter is virtual machines. The Microsoft Azure has bare virtual machine, dedicated, and batch jobs. Amazon Web Services also follows the same. And next, Google Cloud Platforms has custom made, dedicated, and batch jobs. And now, lastly, the conclusion. Computer science most recent advancements have made human existence more pleasant and straightforward. Computing has embarked on a new path and opened up new dimensions. Cloud computing introduces a whole new criterion for service provisioning. The data centers are the backbone of this service oriented computing, providing services tailored to the demands of the end users. Microsoft Azure is one such cloud platform providing high end business services such as compute, mobile storage, CDN, and communication. In the field of medicine, with near infinite high performance bioinformatics infrastructure, AI and machine learning tools, and advanced analytics, Microsoft Azure has helped expedite findings in precision medicine, genomics, and clinical trials. Microsoft Azure also ensures client data's confidentiality, availability, and integrity while also allowing for transparent accountability. In this, it is discovered that Microsoft Azure is a top notch provider that provides optimal business solutions and foolproof security. And these are the references, the journals, and the papers which I have already mentioned in the literature survey. And I think it's not necessary to explain it once again here. So I'll be moving forward. And yeah, now I would like to wind up the session. And thanks for watching.